On average, the motorcycle season in Russia lasts for 5 months. Of course, in the southern regions in Crimea, the motorcycle season hardly ever ends. But, for example, in St. Petersburg, the motorcycle season lasts 4 months. St. Petersburg is called the motorcycle capital of Russia, and during the off-season it experiences a time of upheaval, a time for the opening of new clubs and chapters, the closing of clubs and chapters, as well as entries, transitions, and departures from clubs. Most of this activity primarily occurs during the cold winter months. And in winter, accordingly, all the birthdays of these clubs, motorcycle exhibitions, and winter meetings all take place in the off-season, walking season. Of course, you can ride a motorcycle with spikes. Certainly, there are some dedicated individuals who are willing to ride even in temperatures as low as plus 5 degrees Celsius, and they practically never end their riding season. However, these individuals represent only a small fraction. On average, in Russia, it's really 5 months. Welcome to the Bikers in Russia channel. Once again, I am Alexei Viter, your host, and today we will touch on the basic introductions regarding motorcycles and the community in Russia. I will share with you a brief overview about each of the different directions. Let's go! Police may show more leniency, yet the laws remain stricter. For drug trafficking, you can confidently get a 15-year sentence. For arms trafficking, you can also get a long sentence. The free circulation of firearms is prohibited here. There are only traumatic weapons, gas canisters, and self-defense weapons. The roads are generally good right now. For example, Vladivostok to Vyborg is 11,000 kilometers. Very small sections where road repairs are taking place. The rest of the journey can be done comfortably on a touring Harley. The southern regions, St. Petersburg, in one go without sleep, on an excellent road to the same Tuapse, 2250 kilometers. Novorossiysk to Crimea, through the new territories via Mariupol. Everything is fine, the main roads are of good quality. Police are reasonable when the violations are minor, like speeding and similar offenses. If you don't cross the red line, like driving under the influence, just relax and enjoy life. But as I said, for serious crimes, the punishment is harsher. In my circle, there isn't a single person who hasn't broken traffic rules, speed limits, or similar minor offenses. 99% of residents in Russia have not been vaccinated against COVID. I can say that 99.9% of the residents of Russia break some minor laws. But let's not confuse this with real crime, with murders, arms trafficking, drug dealing, and organizing prostitution. These are completely different things. Unfortunately, whether for better or worse, 99.9% of the residents of Russia break some rule, even if just a little. In terms of clubs, it's like everywhere in the world. There are MC formats, there are 1%ers, motorcycle clubs that shape ideology, MCC formats, raiders clubs, women's motorcycle clubs, police, military, medical, and Christian clubs. There's a wide variety. There are no clubs for non-traditional sexual orientations because Russia, a country of traditional values, does not welcome this kind of thing. There are many worthy and interesting clubs, but I will highlight for you the first one that still exists today. The Night Wolves Motorcycle Club, the most famous one. He is 36 years old now. You call him Putin Gang. This is the only club of this scale in Russia that has its name written in Russian on its back. In Russia, there are 23 hog chapters of Harley-Davidson owners and 2 in the Republic of Belarus. They have 1,500 members. In addition, there are unofficial owner clubs as well as members who are not tied to any of the chapters. Due to the current policies and sanctions and the impossibility of money transfers, members have been exempted from contributions for the time being. In addition, due to sanctions, there are no official HD dealers in Russia, and all branches are independent and have no obligations. In the Russian calendar of the Harley-Davidson Owners Club, there are 10 major events that all chapters gather for. Members who have the opportunity to attend events in Europe are going. Our brothers are waiting for us there. European club members who have the opportunity to visit Russia also come to see us. In addition, of course, there are representatives of the Big Four who live and feel great. Overall, most clubs communicate in one way or another, having at worst neutral relations. In other words, they generally avoid direct conflicts, meaningless conflicts. Of course, there are those who have been in 5 clubs and move on. Some people are in a bad standing position. There are clubs that take in those people who are on bed standing just to increase their numbers. In general, it's all like it is everywhere in the world. Overall, it's interesting, and mainly these processes take place off-season. In the summer, we enjoy the road, ride motorcycles, and socialize. In winter, it's the season of fermentation, as I call it. Many motorcycle events take place in Russia. A number of them have over 1,000 guests on motorcycles. For example, Vyborg is near the border with Finland, and the Baltic Rally attracts participants from all over Russia. Can you imagine? Motorcyclists from different parts of Russia are riding thousands of kilometers in columns to gather together in Vyborg. On the opening of the motorcycle season in St. Petersburg, an average of 3,000 to 5,000 participants gather on motorcycles. In Moscow, this number is 2 to 3 times higher. For example, about 50,000 motorcyclists are registered in St. Petersburg. In Moscow, there are 100,000 registered, and in Krasnodar, which is further south, 115,000 motorcyclists. Throughout the exciting motorcycle season, there is always some event, whether big or small, happening every single weekend. In general, you can ride your motorcycle all season long and enjoy the wonderful company, make new acquaintances, and appreciate the road. You were interested in the motorcycle industry in the comments. There are brand new Harley-Davidsons, a variety of used Harley-Davidsons, and numerous parts available for purchase. However, due to intricate logistical challenges, their prices have significantly increased recently. There are also no issues with premium brands like BMW, Indian, Victory, and similar brands such as Ducati and so on. Japanese motorcycles are slowly being replaced by Chinese motorcycles or those from China that were purchased in Europe. For example, Moto Morini or Royal Enfield was bought by India. They are currently filling the expanding Russian motorcycle market with their products. In general, everything is fine, but prices have gone up due to complicated logistics, sanctions, and similar factors. Well, thank you for watching until the end. Now we're acquainted. If you're interested, feel free to ask questions in the comments. We may dedicate a separate video to some of the questions, while others will be answered in the comments. See you again. Greetings from Russia.